Welcome back to the Shred the Spread podcast, episode 8, Preview Thursday.
Yes,
As
sir.
always, we are back with my man Donnell, the regular.
You already
How you
know.
feeling, man?
You already know I'm feeling great, baby. I'm just glad to be back, man. Glad to be back out there making that money this week. You know how it goes out here,
Hey,
man.
I just want to say, I shouted you out on Monday, but congratulations on your picks, man.
Thank you,
You
sir.
swept everything.
Thank you, sir.
You went 4-0. We combined on the underdog parlay.
Yes, we did. That was the big one right
You
there.
mixed.
That was a
You
big one.
Dude, you mix. Yeah, we nailed that. You mixed and parlayed your picks. I mean, you had a great week, bro.
Yes, indeed.
Congratulations,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. On to the next one.
So let's double up this week, huh?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
about to
You
get
already know.
hot. I'm about to get hot. I'm so due. NFL is kind of starting to, the favorites like the Bengals. One of the things I said, I'm just waiting for Joe Burrow to have his game. He had his game last week.
Yes, he did.
Um,
Yes, he
you know,
did.
So I think we're getting back on pace to like what the NFL should be. The good teams win, the bad teams lose, and then there's the Jets and the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But so yeah, we got a decent amount of games this week because there's only two teams on bye, the Chiefs and the Chargers. So we're going to cover the Thursday game. We have a Sunday London game, so bright and early. We've got several 1 p.m. games. We have a couple 4 o'clock games. We're not going to cover Monday nights, but we will cover Sunday night. Sunday night we have the Packers at the Bills, so that'll be a good one to finish on.
Well,
Yeah, so let's hop right into it. We got a good slate to knock out. So Thursday night we've got the Ravens heading to the Buccaneers. And I just want to start off by saying, please help me make this line make sense. The Ravens opened up at +3. They went down to -1.5. Now they're back up to +1. I understand it's in Tampa. I understand they're playing against Brady, but the line fluctuation has been ridiculous. I know the Buccaneers have several people out. They have Cameron Brate out, Carlton Davis out. Mike Evans is limited, but he's probable to play. Russell Gage is out. Sean Murphy bunting out. Antoine Winfield out. Like that's insane.
And they favored.
And they're favored.
They're
They're
favored.
favored.
Boy, Braves love Brady.
The Ravens are coming off of 23-20 victory against the Browns. It wasn't convincing, but they still won compared to the Buccaneers, who just lost 21-3 against the Panthers.
The Panthers, and they had +13.5. They had the +13.5.
I mean, dude, it's been a while, but I don't think I've ever seen a team that was favored by that many points didn't even score that many points. So the Buccaneers were favored by 13. They didn't even put up 13 points to be favored by. That's incredible. That might have been one of the ugliest football games I've ever seen Tom Brady be a part of.
Exactly. Just to even be a part of it, man. I mean, 3 points. I mean, granted, Mike Evans dropped a wide open, easy walk-in touchdown in the game. He like legit just hit right off his hands and his fingers, and there was nobody around him but himself, man. And when you have mistakes like that, I mean, I get it. You have one, but man, you only put up 3 points. 3 points.
Shit. And when they played the Steelers, they only put up 1 touchdown, and that was 2 weeks ago. I mean, this is just insane. I'll tell you what, a lot of people are like, it's Tom Brady. He's not going to lose 4 games in a row, which is insane saying, but he's not going to lose 4 games in a row. But I mean, the Ravens have been one of the hottest first half teams. Granted, they've been collapsing in the second half, but they're going up against the Bucs offense where they can't even score in the first or second half. They can't get the ball past the 50. They're not converting third down. Tom Brady has taken bad sacks. Granted, his offensive line hasn't been tremendous, but they're still taking sacks. They're having third and long, and they're not converting. Like, how do we favor the Bucs in this game?
I believe I'll give you one stat that may be the reason why. You know that the Ravens have given up 5 100-yard rusher games throughout this year, 5 out of 7. And of course, a lot of that comes with the collapse late. But I guess maybe they believe in Fournette kind of carrying the load after a while. I guess. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. But all I know is, you already know I'm going with. I'm taking that money. Shoot, go ahead, Vegas. If you want to give me that money, give me that free spread money, go ahead. I'm going to take it.
I mean, it's just, granted, Leonard Fournette has his games where he goes off,
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
he's so I just don't understand. The Buccaneers were struggling to stop the Panthers for a little bit. They were struggling to stop them. They were having long drives. They were getting down the field, and then they were scoring. And it was unreal to see that the Panthers putting drives together with PJ Walker, no Christian
With
McCaffrey, and it
ease,
was just DJ Moore doing toe taps
no
in the back of the
McCaffrey.
engine. I mean, it's just you took their biggest playmaker, their number one threat away, and you still beat the Buccaneers. Granted, the Panthers are at home, but that's not much of a home field advantage. Half their stadium's empty. Um, I don't know, dude. Calais Campbell's the only person that I see that's already ruled out for the game Thursday night. I mean, at this point, you got to take the Ravens, but I think a better side, honestly, like we're not going to make this an official pick, obviously, because we start that Saturday. But you know,
Right, right.
Ravens +1. How do you not take that? And and
At
if
all.
you're scared the Ravens don't cover the second half, you could just take Ravens first half money line. It's probably plus money.
Easy money too. Like yeah, I don't get it, man. I honestly don't get it. I understand that they don't have like an inside pass rush like a lot of these teams do, but at the end of the day, man, it just looks bad. Like I said, when you lose to the Panthers by 18 points after they had 13-point spread, you basically got blown out. Honestly, you basically got swept out the swept off the field and put up three abysmal points. That is not going to cut it.
And
So
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. Like the Ravens defense is better than the Panthers. There's no doubt about it. And you're telling me the Buccaneers are just going to flip a switch, turn around on a short week? They're just going to forget that whatever they did Sunday, come out here Thursday and just be a completely different team. It could happen. Tom Brady could just go out there and throw for 400 yards and be perfect. But
yeah,
after
wave his
after
magic fucking wand.
yeah, but after what I just saw last week, there's no way I'm laying a point with the Buccaneers. They look rough, and it sounds crazy saying that, but I'm probably going to be more so on Ravens first half money line just because I just trust them to start out hot. And Tom Brady always has those like late game drives where he just like tries to inch his team back in and give his team a chance. Like we saw it against the Packers. Um, just I think we're both on the same page. Just give us the Ravens. We'll take the point. I'm gonna sprinkle the first half money line because it's just there's just too many pieces on the Bucks. Like one,
Right, and
two, three.
we're not even on picks day today,
That's
and
what I'm
we already
saying. And
called we already called this one. Like, yeah,
they're missing half their secondary. They're missing half their secondary. Like not that the Ravens are like some pass heavy team, but when that opens up options down the field for Lamar, he doesn't have to worry about running the ball. He could just, as long as Mark Andrews is healthy, he opens up the middle of the field and then he can attack the outside with, Bateman. So, yeah,
the play action. The play action is going to be disgusting. I mean, you already know what Lamar can do with his feet, and then you also got Gus Edwards. I can believe Gus Edwards out there. I think he's going to be running the ball, man. But no matter what, they're always a prolific running team. And then you're going to throw in play action on top of that, which half your secondary missing. Yeah. You better believe I'm going to take my chance,
like
no
the only
matter
thing
what.
that's going to keep the Buccaneers competitive in this game is their linebackers. Their linebackers and then Vita Vea. Like other than that, dude, this might be an ugly game. And 45 and a half, it just seems high for some reason. But
A
I don't
little
know.
too high.
It does seem high, but you know what? I feel like this will be one of those like second half explosive games. Like it starts off slow, and then kind of like the Chargers and the Broncos, it's slow, and then you kind of see some scoring in the second half. But other than that, dude, I don't want to touch the Buccaneers. If you don't want to take a side, I don't blame you, but I think I like the Ravens here.
Yeah,
So
I like the Ravens here as well. But
yeah, there's just no reason pointing me to the Buccaneers, but I think we hit
oh,
I think we've hit that thing enough. But so let's go to
yeah,
another shitty game. And this one just so happens to be so damn early you don't even have to wake up for it if you don't have to work. The Broncos and the Jaguars are playing in London. I'll tell you what, we love sending our shittiest team over to London. I mean, nothing like trying to get some fans, but by sending your shittiest teams over there.
shittiest teams.
The shittiest teams, and
Exactly.
then you have the Giants over there playing their ass off and beating the Packers. Granted, the Packers haven't been anything special, but yeah, they're for sure getting a show over there. So the Broncos are 2.5 point underdogs. Obviously, no home field advantage. Besides, the Jaguars play here like every damn year. The total in this game is 39.5 points. The Broncos just lost to the Jets 16-9. The Jaguars just lost to the Giants 23-17. And you got Russell Wilson doing high knees in the damn plane because he wants to play in this game so damn bad.
Trying to do that Mile High Club.
I mean, they're everybody's sleeping and the plane's shaking. They think it's turbulence. No, it's Russell Wilson in the middle of the aisle pumping fucking blood. So, I mean, it's just
Honeys.
yeah. He's like, no days off. Yeah, it's just I don't know, dude. This one, imagine me trying to take a side, dude. This will probably just be one where I have to just close my eyes and take the under. Like, these teams don't put up points. They look horrendous when they do put up points. Their defense, like you show me that stat, the Broncos let up like the third or fourth least amount of points per game, and they have one of the worst records in the NFL.
Every other team above them, like I think the Eagles were like 5th, 6-0. The Cowboys are right there at like 14 point something points, and they're like they're 5-2.
Yeah. You got the
Right,
Bills.
5 and
So
what?
this
They're
is
5-2.
you got the Bills who are averaging like this. Okay, so the opponent team is averaging 13.5 points per game. The Bills are 5-1.
That's
And
ridiculous.
second, you have
That's
the
ridiculous right
Cowboys
there,
letting up 14.9 points per game. They're 5-2. You have the Eagles letting up 17.5 points per game. They're 6-0. Then right in the middle, you have the Broncos letting up 16.4 points per game, and they are 2-5. Give me a break, dude.
That's that big piece of shit in the middle of the
They
circle,
can't
just sitting
like
there. Just
this.
sitting
This
there.
just screams under. I don't care if this under is 25 points. You're playing against a team who doesn't put up points and they don't let up points. The Jets don't do anything on offense, and the Broncos already don't
At
do anything
all.
on offense to make mistakes. They literally just punt the ball back and forth all game. And the only thing Salah is going to be able to do is send the boys out to try to get a block punt or field goal, and that's how they're going to score. These two teams are going to be battling at the 50-yard line all game.
All game long. And what's bad about it, like I said, what's bad about it is it's not like the Jaguars are really a terrible team. They have potential. I mean, they have a lot of young talent there, ETN and Trevor Lawrence, man. But for some reason, it never clicks for a substantial amount of time. You see spurts, but then the wave just dies down. It's very weird. Like I said, you would expect Doug Peterson to have a little bit more consistency with his offense by week. What we're in 8
Yep.
now, and by week 8. But I mean, like you said, maybe it's just the growing pains going on over there in Jacksonville. I can't trust Jacksonville to save my life, to be honest with you. Then you already know damn well I can't trust the Denver Broncos to save my life. I mean, they've been on the opposite ends of some big old parlay hits for me as of late, and honestly, I mean, are you really feeling Broncos country right now? Are you guys ready to ride with Russell
Nah, dude.
Wilson? Because I
I
sure as
mean,
hell ain't.
the dude's been the dude's been trying to lead the horse to victory, and the damn thing is taking a nap in the middle of the field. There's just they don't do anything. And dude, you're telling me 2.5 points is you're telling me 2.5 points is convincing enough for you to take the Broncos? Like, this game's gonna be ugly, dude. It's Sunday morning. It's in London. This game's gonna be something stupid. Like, it's gonna finish like 9-8, like a safety at the end of the game, or like 9-6. You know, it's something
like
stupid.
a ugly
Yeah,
baseball
like a
game,
high
ugly ass
scoring
baseball game.
baseball game. Speaking of baseball, shout out to the Phillies, man. We did it. We did it, man.
Oh
We
yeah,
did it. I had to put that put
yes
that in there,
sir.
man. It feels
Nah,
good. Gosh.
y'all earned your
Yes.
flowers. Y'all deserve
Yes,
your
man. It
flowers,
feels so
man.
damn good. I don't gotta hear shit from nobody for at least a month now, unless we lose, and I might go off the radar. This will be Dino
Right,
taking over the podcast for a little bit. Jared, we don't know where he went. The Phillies lost, and he lost his damn mind. But yeah, dude, this is gonna be an ugly game.
exactly. I'll be out here rambling.
Do you have any leans in this game at all?
Week where Russell Wilson figures it out. I don't know when that week's going to be. I'm not touching these teams with a 10-foot pole. Matter of fact, a 20-foot pole. There's two ugly ass teams sitting right in my face right now. Nah, I'm gonna walk away from this.
Yeah, dude.
Exactly. I'm telling you, there's one. He's due. It's going to be one
I
game where
don't
he's
blame
just
you, dude.
absolutely
I mean, this
due, and
game's
he
gonna be
absolutely
ugly. It's gonna
Russ
be
is
low
going to
score,
cook
and
for about
we're
like
gonna
2
say
or
this
3
shit,
weeks,
and
and then he's
Russell
going.
Wilson's gonna throw for 500 yards in London, and he's gonna be like, it's you know what? And until he does, I'm just gonna keep taking these unders. Whatever game the Broncos is in, dude, I'm just gonna keep hammering the unders because there's no way these teams put up 20 points each. I just don't see it. I think it's gonna be an ugly game. Doug Peterson's still trying to
Hmm.
figure out the identity of this team. James Robinson just got moved. It's just, it's just, I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna take the under. I'm gonna close my eyes. I don't even want to watch it, but I'm gonna watch it because it's gonna be the only thing on to watch. But let's get into some real freaking games. Um, the Cardinals are 3.5 point road dogs heading to Minnesota. The total for the game is 49 points, which seems about right.
Fresh.
The
That's all
Cardinals
I
are just
gotta
coming
say
off a
about the Minnesota
Saints
Vikings right
victory
now.
where
They
they
are
beat them 42-34, but
fresh.
the
The clean
Vikings
slate on
are
the injury
coming off of
report.
a
You went
bye.
into the bye week healthy.
Talk
You
to me
went into the
about this
bye
one.
week what, 5-1, 6-1. What's the record there? Yep, five. Yeah, and you have probably you have Dalvin Cook, arguably one of the best running backs in the game, and then you have Jay Jets, one of the best and upcoming
Mm-hmm.
wide receivers in the game. And let me tell you something: Kirk Cousins is going to sling that ball around. Don't get it twisted. Kirk Cousins will sling that ball, man. He might have some bad games, but man, he'll put up a game where he might put up 350 on you, And I like what I see from the Vikings right now. It's just all about, can I see the consistency? Was it Kevin O'Connell is the coach? I'm sorry, I keep asking for his name. Absolutely fantastic job. I mean, coming from that Commanders tree, you know what I'm saying? But he's done such a fantastic job with this offense as far as letting it operate enough to the point where you win games. Their defense isn't the greatest, but their defense is doing just enough. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's a lot of good things. A lot of good things I can say about the Vikings right now. As far as the Cardinals, I mean, what's new? It's the same iffy story. It's the Cliff Kingsbury shit show. It's the defense bailing them out to win games. It's the D. It's the exactly, yeah, exactly. Fucking bombs, bro. Bombs everywhere. So my thing is
And Call
Kyler
of Duty comes
going
out
to
this
be able
weekend.
to carry some of
So
this load
you
and take
already
this load
know.
off of some of this defense? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, the defense is not gonna have the game like they had against the Saints
So
with back to back pick sixes. So, like I said, I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna see if DeAndre Hopkins is really that big of a deal. If so, that is sad. But we're gonna sit back and watch and see, man. Yeah, that's something.
I just, I think the Vikings had plenty of time to prepare for this game. They've had plenty of time to study film. Not that there's much film to study on the Cardinals
Back
right
to
now,
back.
but the Cardinals were given 14. They were given 14 free points from the Saints. Andy Dalton threw two horrendous pick sixes at the end of the first half, and the Cardinals only won by 8 points. So you take those 14 points off the board, and the Cardinals potentially
Hmm.
don't win that game. And I think the Vikings are pretty. I mean, I think they're better than the Saints. They're playing better at least. The Vikings kind of give me these Giants vibes where they're not like they don't do anything like pretty. They do have Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook, but they don't do anything like
Captain
tremendous.
Kirk.
But they get the job done. They find ways to win. Regardless of how ugly or pretty it is. You saw it when they did against the Lions. Kirk went and had the game-winning drive.
Hoop.
They just get the job done. So it's kind of the same situation, like like the Broncos. Like you're telling me the Cardinals are going to come out here and hoop like they're not gonna ball out.
Yeah,
They're not gonna ball out.
exactly.
Like
Damn right.
I don't know, dude. The Vikings coming off a bye. I think they've had plenty of time to prepare. It's just Call of Duty coming out. This
Right.
this is the
Like I
last thing
said,
on
I
Kyler Murray's
yeah, well,
mind.
like I
He's
said, we'll
trying to
see. I
grind out
mean,
on that game.
it's all
Uh,
about D
I
Hop,
think
right?
I
It's
think I'm
I
with
mean,
you.
like I
I think
said,
I
he
think I
had
like the
what, like you said,
Vikings
10
three and three
receptions
and a
his
half
first game
early.
back. They obviously missed. I mean,
So
over 5.5. Insane, insane, and without Marquise Brown, right?
It
One
was
thing I
five and
will
a half. The books had it at 5.5. Like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah,
The one thing I will
give me a
say about
break.
this Cardinals team is I will
At
actually
plus
be
money at that.
very, very
Yeah, at plus
intrigued
money
to
at
see how
that.
this offense
Dude
works
was the
with
dude
D
was coming off
Hop,
the
James Conner back at
good
running
type
back,
of
even
cheating.
though Eno was it Eno Smith? What's his name is Eno? Eno Benjamin. Jesus Lord, I said Smith. Eno Benjamin's been balling. I mean, been doing pretty all right, holding the helm down while he's been gone. And then you mix that with Hollywood Brown, who's going to eventually come off of IR. I am
Eno
intrigued to see
Benjamin.
that, but it might be too late for the Cardinals to even do anything before we get to that point. So I guess we'll see. But nah, I have no faith in the Arizona Cardinals at all.
Yeah, nah, dude, they're begging you to take 3.5. That's why they put the hook there. They're begging you to take the Cardinals, but there's no way in hell I'm touching the Cardinals. I didn't even want to take the Cardinals versus the Saints. I still think I was on the right side of that. I think early this week, I'm definitely leaning the Vikings. So that takes us to God. I mean, I don't even really know where to start here. The Panthers are 4.5 road dogs heading to Atlanta. Atlanta Falcons minus 4.5. The total for that game is 41 and
Steve
a half
Wilkes, by the
points.
way,
The
congrats on your
coach
win, Steve
of the
Wilkes. Shout out to
Panthers
Steve
said
Wilkes.
PJ Walker is
Hopefully under
starting
beat
regardless
the
of who is
Buccaneers, beat
healthy
the
on that
GOAT.
roster. So we will be seeing another PJ Walker stunt. Hopefully it's not foreshadowed by beat the Buccaneers too. Jesus, dude, schemed them up.
Found it.
God, man. So the Panthers just beat the Bucks, obviously 21-3, but the Falcons are coming off an ass
And
whooping to the
what
Bengals.
I
They
tell you,
finally
then I tell you
lost
that
against
the
the
jumper
spread.
was coming. The elbow
You
was
know, we were
coming.
talking about it last week. I was like,
He
dude,
did.
I just gotta take it till it loses because I keep feeling
Out the gun.
stupid trying to go against them. Um, yeah. Hey, Joe Burrow did Joe Burrow stuff. He did Joe Burrow stuff. But we got AJ Terrell did not participate, and Jalen Hawkins also did not participate.
Damn.
That's just an understatement to what the Panthers have on their injury report. I
They
believe I
need a
saw
bye
they have.
week.
I'm not going to name them all
They need
because
some
we're
milk.
going to be here all day. But the Panthers have 14 players on their injury report. Everybody is banged the hell up from that Buccaneers game. They were going all out. Yeah, they indeed need a bye week. I'll tell you what. Um, see, the Panthers are coming off that huge win. The Falcons did not
Uh,
cover, did not win. They looked a fool versus the Bengals. But I'll tell you what, something just tells me this is a good spot for the Falcons. I'm not sold on this Panthers team. The Buccaneers are kind of like letting them have it easy, like long third down conversions. The Falcons didn't
I
look
told
terrible.
you.
They're not asking much of Marcus
I
Mariota
told you
to
that
do
they do
anything.
not know how to use their
I
outside.
think he
I
definitely
said
needs
they
to
don't
get
know how to use their
Kyle
outside
Pitts a
weapon.
little bit more
It's
involved
really
and Drake
disgusting.
London get
I
back
can't stand
involved.
it.
He's
I
kind of
mean,
been off
Kyle
the
Pitts
stat
gets
sheet
no
the past
love.
couple weeks.
Drake London gets no love. I see more offense from the backup running back than my 2 first-round receivers on the outside in the past 2 years. It's disgusting.
Yeah, so their running game is phenomenal, but the recipe for their success early in
True.
the year was uh, Drake London was effective in the pass game. They were utilizing him, short screen passes, getting him down the field. He was involved. He was getting several receptions a game. The past 2 weeks, he's been off the stat sheet, like a catch here, a catch there, nothing spectacular, and they're struggling to move the ball again. But I think last week was a wake up call. Hey, we can't run the ball first, second, third, and fourth down. We actually got to pass it. We can't wait till it's third long to try to pass the ball. And even when they do pass the ball, Mariota takes off. And granted, Mariota is running the ball pretty effective right now, but they have to
I'm
get these pass
crazy because
catchers
Tom
back
Brady is still
involved
in
if
it.
they want to be a
Tom
competitive
Brady is
team.
still in it.
That
That's just the thing about
it's
it. He's
crazy to
still in
say,
it.
but that whole division is up for grabs. It's just a game or two away from everybody's reach,
You're
um,
right.
which is
Yeah, you're right.
nuts, right? Yeah, and I think he's leading the division. He's got 3 wins. It's something ridiculous. But yeah, so Panthers
Nah,
plus 4.5. I can't do it right. Like if I was betting this game right now, I'd probably take the Falcons. As ugly and disgusting as that sounds, I just think it's a good spot for them. I think it's a good bounce back game. They've got a
respectfully.
full week to prepare. They're coming
Yeah.
off Joe Burrow, who just torched them, and
What's
by
funny
any
about it
means,
is,
PJ
yeah,
Walker is
like,
no Joe
yeah.
Burrow.
First things
He's
first.
not
If
going
I'm
to throw for
leaning
400
anywhere,
yards.
I'm leaning towards the
Um,
Falcons here,
I
right?
think I like
I
the
mean,
Falcons in this
minus four and a
spot.
half.
Do
Let's
do
be
you have
honest, all
any
right? We was
early
never sold
leans?
on this Panthers team before the Buccaneers game. That's the reason why there was 13 and a half underdogs going into that game. The, the defense really showed out. They really put pressure on Tom Brady. Like that, that was an ugly situation. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with the Bucks right now as it is. I actually have more faith that the offense of the Falcons will be a little bit, at least be a little bit more consistent enough to put up more than 3 points. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like the Panthers beating the Buccaneers was kind of the best thing that happened to the Atlanta Falcons on this spread here. They actually have a decent shot of tearing the spread up. Actually, minus 4.5. Think about it, an ugly loss, and your opponent who doesn't really win much just beat the goat. So now you coming in with only a minus 4.5 spread. I actually think that spread would have been way different if the results were different. So, that's something to just keep in mind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
think if the Panthers don't win that game, even I mean, if the Panthers go out there and play like the Panthers versus Tom Brady, I think it would be closer to 6 points. I think it'd be closer to like 5.5, 6 points, which is a big difference in this type of game.
Don't
But
don't don't
at
take
four
that
and a
bait,
half,
y'all.
definitely
Don't don't,
deflated.
don't
You know, the
take that
Falcons.
bait.
I mean, I'm
Don't
sure the
take that
public
bait.
is going to be on the Panthers after last week. I haven't looked at any of the numbers this week. I'm not trying to have that sway any decision I make. I'm just,
That's
it just,
huge. Huge.
yeah, the Falcons actually have a mobile quarterback, and their defense isn't half bad. As a big
Yeah,
thing
not
is
McCaffrey no
AJ
more
Terrell
either.
going to play? That's huge. Because other outside of DJ Moore, who is he going to throw to? Exactly. So I mean, if he can shut DJ Moore down, right? That's what I'm saying. He doesn't have a dump off. You got Chuba Hubbard and Deontay Foreman taking turns running the ball, which God,
Exactly.
they were running all over the Buccaneers. It was ridiculous.
Telling you.
It was ridiculous. And that's
It's all right.
oh my
Easy
gosh.
money.
And that literally brings me back to how are the Ravens not favoring that game? But whatever. That's another story for another day. God, I still can't get over that.
Well, that
So
ain't
that
tough.
takes us
That
that
ain't even
takes us
tough.
to
Watch. Go ahead. Now
this is a
say what you
tough
gotta
one.
say. Say what you gotta say.
The
Say what you gotta say
Bears
real quick.
plus nine
Got
and
you.
a half heading to Dallas. It ain't tough. Uh, Okay, I'm gonna go the quick rundown. We're gonna let you know Mr. Hothead over here because I came and hate you and hitting everything. Let's maybe I should listen to you a little more. Um, the Bears just beat the Patriots 33-14. The Cowboys just struggled the first half and pulled out this late game, magic shit, and the Cowboys beat the Lions 24-6. The latest update: Zeke,
Yeah.
Noah Brown,
Yeah.
and Malik
Yeah.
Hooker did
By
not
by the
participate.
way,
And
Howie.
I know
Hey,
you're
Howie.
you're
Hey,
not a
look,
fan
knock
of this,
knock.
but the
Hey,
Browns
you hear
or the
me?
Bears just traded
I
Robert
need you to chill
Quinn for
out.
a
All right,
fourth
I need you to
round
calm
pick,
down.
and the
All right, I
Bears
know
are
I put
and the
disrespect
Bears
in
are
your
covering
name,
a
and a
lot of
lot of people
that
put
cap
disrespect in your
that the
name.
Eagles are going to
Listen, you
pay.
gotta respect. We got your message. All right, you you running this. You running the league right now. You running the league like it's Madden connected franchise right now, man. Y'all about to go undefeated. Right, I ain't gonna lie to you. It's about to get to the point where shoot, I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm a respected Commanders fan. But if you want me to give me a serious Super Bowl bet, I will legit put some money on
Dude
the
out here
Eagles
put
winning the
four
Super
trades
Bowl.
on.
Legit, if you want to be 100% honest with you, I mean, his roster construction. Uh, you know what? We'll get to that when we talk about the Eagles. But man, that was a big time trade. You just added a 18.5 sack player from last year who you got on a fire sale because the system kind of went out of his favor. That is ridiculous. Yeah, props to Howie Roseman on that, man. He definitely earned some flowers with that one. Right. Yeah.
We're gonna have people start saying, "Yeah, I like the Raiders, but I also like Howie Roseman." So it's gonna start getting to that. Um, but no, for real, dude. Robert Quinn obviously has been quiet this year, but I think it's a direct product of the system that they're in. There's not really like a winning culture there right now, kind of rebuild stage. But
Y'all hear that?
when you throw him on our defensive
Josh
line
Sweat.
with all those other attackers, bro. I mean,
Oh
you
my
double team
God,
Fletcher Cox. You got Javon Hargrave,
that's not right.
Jordan Davis sliding in there, Brandon Graham. Like it's just there's too many pieces. There's too many people to cover at this point. There's just too many people to
Oh
cover.
man, I
Yeah,
mean,
there's just too
honestly,
many people to
earlier the
cover right
spread
now.
was at
But like you
plus eight
said,
and a half, and
we'll
I
get
don't
on
really
that
feel more
later.
comfortable about that plus nine and
I
a
don't
half. I'm
honestly, dude.
actually
Talk to me about this game.
surprisingly,
You kind
guys.
of
Now
sound
hear
like you
me
had your
out.
mind made
Hear
up.
me out.
Where are we going?
I am taking if I'm leaning, okay, and it's not a lock. If I'm leaning towards anything like this, if you guys want to talk about me leaning, I would actually take plus 9.5 Bears here. Even when they traded Robert Quinn, like you said, we brought up the Robert Quinn trade. All right, they legit gained a point from trading away Robert Quinn, and Robert Quinn only had one sack through 7 games this year. Like I said, it was a completely just product of the system because of the coaching change from Matt Nagy to Matt Eberflew, however the fuck you say his name. And I want you to understand, like, the defense of the Cowboys is, yes, very, very respected. We brought up the stat how they only gave up 14 points per game at this point, around that range. But I want you to understand this Bears defense is no joke at the end of the day. This defense is definitely up and coming. They're definitely rising. Roquan Smith out there. I mean, like I said, Roquan Smith's a big name out there. He always gets the job done. Think about it. He gave up 7 points to the Commanders. He gave up. Hold on. I'm gonna let you more. I'm gonna let you guys know more about it. But this defense is really, really slept on. I feel like a lot of people sleep in this defense. Uh, Dak, like you said, struggled against the Detroit Lions defense in the first half. I mean, and they're without Zeke Elliott. Yeah, you're gonna. Yes, trust me. I'm telling you guys, man. Plus 9.5. Y'all don't have to believe me. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Y'all can take this advice and do what y'all want with it. But nah, I'm leaning plus 9.5 Bears here. Mark my words on that one.
Yeah, so I
Thanks
mean,
for
obviously
clarifying that,
on
my guy.
Thursdays, for those of you listening, or if you're new, these are all of our we talk basically it's we call it preview Thursday because we just go over the games together for the first time this week, and then we start talking about like yeah, so basically these are what we were saying if we were to bet this game like tonight and the games in the morning,
Oh, really?
obviously we're gonna have some stronger leans, and if nothing changes, then that's a little bit foreshadowing what is to come on Saturday, but I think I'm with you, dude. Who are the Cowboys to cover 9.5 points? Who are the Cowboys to cover 9.5 points? And this isn't just like the Eagles, fan coming out of me. They struggled against Jared Goff, and that line's defense is horrendous. It took a solid second half from Dak, and granted, this Bears defense, they have a solid run defense. Obviously, Robert Quinn left, but you have the general in the middle of the field and Roquan Smith. Um, you know, we saw it
After the fans
firsthand
called him
versus the
out,
Patriots. They shut down the run game for the most part. They forced Bailey Zappi after he came in and he had that great touchdown drive. They adjusted. They made
hey,
plays. Right. They picked off Mac Jones. I'm not sure if Bailey Zappi threw a pick, but he was throwing passes. They were getting batted around and stuff. And they adjusted. And if that doesn't say anything, then I don't know what does, because that Bears team, like you said, they're not as bad as people think. They are
and man,
just
did he
a
do a good job of
rebuild
that
phase, and it's
the other
truthfully going
night,
to come
man. He
down
did a
to,
good job of that.
does
That was
Justin
the best
Fields
I've
protect the
seen Justin
ball?
Fields. I mean,
Does he
just
turn the
being a
ball
dual
over, and
threat.
can he use his legs and get outside the pocket? Because, you know, Justin Fields, every week. Yeah, we were talking about this every week. Every single week, he looks more confident outside of the pocket, whether it's making a read downfield and waiting for his receiver with like Darnell Mooney, or if it's taking off and getting his yards, getting out of bounds, and getting the first down. Like he is progressively getting better with his legs, and that's obviously one of the biggest reasons why he's high of a stature as he is because he can run, and this you saw Jalen Hurts do it against the Cowboys. When they pressured him, he was able to escape the pocket. He got outside. He was getting first downs and touchdown. Like, he prolongs the game. He gets you first downs, and that's going to be hard. If the Bears can continuously get first downs against the Cowboys, they have a really, really good chance not of only to cover 9.5, but to potentially be in a position to win that game. If the Dallas Cowboys come out and snooze fest like they did versus the Lions had plenty of opportunities to win that game, but what did Jared Goff do? Turn the ball over. They didn't have DeAndre Swift. The Bears have David Montgomery and Khalil
Dallas
Herbert. They
better
have
win
a
this
solid
game.
1-2 punch.
Dallas
Darnell
better win
Mooney
this
is
game.
going to be taking
All I'm
over.
gonna
I
say
mean,
is
it's just
they
they
better
have
win this game
pieces
because I'm gonna tell you what
equipped
though, even
to
though Cooper Rush
compete with
lost against the
this
Eagles
Cowboys
that
team,
one week, at least you can
and
say that's the
that
Philadelphia
sounds
Eagles,
crazy.
right? You want to go back here and you're gonna
They
tell me,
better win this game. Dallas
right? And
better
you're
win this
telling
game.
me as the Dallas Cowboys after the Giants beat the Bears 20-12, as the Commanders beat the Bears
And he
12 to
had a chance
7.
to win a
You're
game.
telling me you can't go out here with your $40 million quarterback. Granted, you're without Zeke, but you have Tony Pollard. He's very explosive. Let's not forget. And you're gonna go out here and you lay an egg out here at home, right? I think isn't it home? Are they home? They're at home. Yeah, they're in Dallas. I mean, come on. You can't lose that game. And just know if you do, you're gonna have a lot of conversations going on in Dallas, a lot of whispers. I
Yeah,
mean, they're in a
they're
good
in
spot. The
Dallas.
record will be fine, but you're gonna hear a lot of whispers on, hey, is Dak really our guy? Or, just little things, man. You know how narratives get created around here. Just it's bullcrap.
Philly behind Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz struggles, and you have Philly fans who are just like, hey, let's give this guy a try. Carson Wentz turned the ball over. These wins aren't convincing wins; they're ugly. We have this young guy. Let's give him a shot. And it created turmoil. And Dak can say anything he wants about, Cooper Rush. Me and him and I are this tight. We are nothing but respectful. But at the end of the day, you're fighting for a damn job. They're trying to take each other's job,
Goofy.
and that sucks to say because they are supposed to be working together, but they're trying to take each other's job. Cooper Rush isn't trying to be his backup. He wants a job. You make more money as a starter, you get more shine as a starter, you can get more of a long-term contract as a starter. He wants his damn job. Point blank period. So if Dak goes out there and struggles, you have Cowboys fans, okay, we were just looking really damn good with Cooper Rush. Maybe Dak isn't playing as well as Cooper Rush right now. Let's throw
Hey,
Cooper Rush
Dak,
back in there. And granted, I do think Dak is a
right.
really good quarterback. Let's not get that twisted. But that thumb injury, I don't know what you think, but I think he kind of rushed it back a little bit too fast.
Really, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, if they was gonna take that bump and bruise, if it needed more time, trust me, they could have used more time. They was playing the Detroit Lions last week. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
Yes, but this was the
Game,
perfect opportunity
you're right,
for Dak to come
and you're
back.
right.
Cooper Rush just lost. It's the doors open. He had to take
You
that
said that.
opportunity. You saw what Russ did last year when he came back from his
Hmm.
thumb injury. He looked like
Yeah,
shit.
you're exactly right.
But you know, I think I think surprisingly we're on the same side in this one. Bears plus 9.5. It's ugly, but you just gotta close your eyes and take it. This is the close your eyes
Gut
special.
feelings.
You bet it. You don't watch the game. You check the box score later, and the Bears lost by 9 points, and you're like, damn, we covered, and that's all
That's
that
all that
matters.
matters.
Good teams win, great teams cover. That's the name of the game. Um, but let's move on to the Raiders. The Raiders are heading to the Saints. Saints are 1.5-point dogs, 50-point total in this game. The Cardinals, obviously, we just talked about this earlier, coming off of beating the Saints 42-34, although that doesn't tell the whole story. But the Raiders are coming off an explosion on offense. They just beat the Texans 38-20. Um, Last I checked, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Marshawn Lattimore are they did not practice today. Andrews Pete was limited, and Devontae Adams on the Raiders side did not participate due to a non-COVID related illness. Um, so what are you thinking in this game?
What am I thinking this game? I'm thinking the Raiders are gonna go in there. They're gonna do their thing, and they're gonna cover that -1.5 spread. I mean, they did. I mean, that defense is. That defense is kind of bad. That Raiders defense is kind of bad, but I believe in their ability to produce points. I mean, you got to understand too that Marshawn Lattimore is out again, man, and it just seems like ever since Marshawn Lattimore been out, the Saints have been getting exposed. And when I mean exposed, I really mean exposed. Granted, like you said, if they ran into the Arizona Cardinals really do much offensively, but at the end of the day, what D Hop had 10 receptions on his first game back. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
just keep an eye out for those certain things. And when you don't have Juice and you don't have Michael Thomas, man, your offense is not as explosive. Don't get me wrong. You still have Kamara. Olave is really becoming a very, very, very productive receiver for his rookie year, man. And like I said, I might have to play that prop. Like you said, usually both the receivers out, play that prop. But they're gonna need more. they need more. They're that Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston seem to be turnover machines. I mean, they went with one to protect the ball, and then the other one threw two pick sixes back to back before the half of a game. Like that is, it's like no matter where you turn, it just seems like they find their way to shoot themselves in the foot. And you know, I believe that this Arizona, I mean, that is Arizona. I'm sorry, that this Las Vegas Raiders team is really going to go out there and put up points, kind of like how they did with the against the Texans last week. I feel like they found their groove. They came off the. Did they come off a bye last week? That week before that, or no? They just went straight in. I don't know. Yeah, 100%
I'm
sure.
not
All right,
100%
but at the
sure.
end of the day, either way, they're in good rhythm. They're in good momentum. This was that find it game that I was talking about last week. The game was what 38-20, and I said what 30-20 around that range. That was my prediction for that game. So, no, I really believe they're going to cover this -1.5 spread. I mean, the Saints got to find it, man, before I can even give them a +1.5 on that. Saints got to find some type of rhythm on defense.
Yeah, so the Raiders did just come off a bye when they played the Texans.
Exactly.
But
Yep.
um they I mean honestly, the Raiders are probably the best 2-4 team in the NFL right now.
The
Uh
best.
yeah, they are the best. I think I agree with you on this one. I think I like the Raiders -1.5. I think it's just going to come down to in this game who scores the more points. And I think I have more trust in the Raiders. I think they have better pieces right now, and I also think that Marshawn Lattimore being out is a huge drop off because you've got Devontae Adams, Mac Hollins, Hunter Renfro, and Darren Waller if he plays this week. I'm not sure what the latest on him is, but I also like the over in this game. It's 50 points. It's high for a reason, and
Oh yeah,
the
that's juicy. That's
yeah, the New
juicy.
Orleans, the Saints have covered the games they played in. They've covered over in every single game except for two this year. And the two that they
Ooh,
covered,
sneaky sneak.
one was by like 6 points. They didn't cover the other, and then the other one was like the Buccaneers where they didn't come close, but they covered the over almost. They covered the over in every game besides two, and then the one game against the Panthers they didn't cover. It was by like a couple points. Um,
Look at the
so I
guru
definitely am
digging.
looking towards yeah. So I'm definitely looking in that over. It just makes sense. You know, the Saints are firing. If they get Jarvis Landry back and Michael Thomas back, like I think Michael Thomas is expected to play, but you never know with Jarvis Landry. I'm not 100% sure, and Marshawn Lattimore, who knows? But you know, if they can get a couple pieces back, especially offensive pieces, I think we see kind of like a little Seahawks or a Cardinals Saints matchup where there was a lot of points. Granted, two of them were pick sixes, but we're still scoring the ball. Saints were scoring the damn ball. Saints haven't had a problem scoring the ball. It's been a problem of stopping the other team of scoring the ball. So mix that recipe together, and you have yourself a pretty good concoction to get the over. But
I heard
yeah,
that.
it's hard to take the Saints here. 1.5. Basically, you just gotta think the Saints win this game. Uh, Although it's in New Orleans, I think the Raiders are kind of finding their footing. Derek Carr didn't look too damn bad last week. There was a lot of points. So I think I agree with you. I like the Raiders. I also like the over. We'll see what the injury news lines up later. It could change the line. If a lot of these pieces for the Saints come back, this could get closer to a pick 'em. If Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Marshawn Lattimore all play, then you might see this be Saints plus half a point. Saints pick 'em basically.
Half a point, legit, maybe even deadlock, like
Yeah.
right around that range at
So
half a point. We up.
yeah. So I think that's definitely a
Let me
game
tell you
to
what.
look
Oh
out
yeah,
for.
by the way, yeah, let me give props to Josh Jacobs too, man. Josh Jacobs, you've been turning the hell
Oh
out of the
yeah, of
ball,
course. I
bro.
don't know how I
You had
forgot
your
about
bye
that.
week already. He has his bye week already, and he's what third in rushing yards
Yeah.
still, and he already had his bye week.
Yeah.
That's
He has
insane,
been
So he's really
running
coming
everything.
out there cooking
And a lot of people weren't high
all
on
that
him.
talk.
A lot of people were high on him this year just because of they didn't know.
I was just about to say
Yeah,
that.
and he stepped up to the plate, and he's taken his spot back with no ifs ands or buts. The man is running the hell out of the ball. He is putting that team in position to score. And granted, he had 3 touchdowns last week, so that's 21 points by himself. And if you can get 21 points out of anybody, then you have a solid chance of winning the game not only and hitting the over. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a
M-
really good
m-
game. Um,
my boy says Zamir who?
exactly.
Zamir White. Who that? Rook.
Yeah.
Come on, Rook.
Okay, this is also a good one. We may conflict on this one early. Obviously there's not locks. But we have the Dolphins
You know me better than
traveling
anybody.
to Detroit. Detroit are 3.5 point home dogs. The total is 51 points. The Cowboys obviously just beat the Lions 24-6. The Dolphins just beat the Steelers 16-10. DeAndre Swift was indeed a full participant. Xavier Howard, Teron Armstead did not participate. Um, the Lions, TJ Hawkinson, Mike Hughes, Josh Reynolds, and Deshaun Elliott did not participate. So there's a couple big names from both of those teams. Xavier Howard still dealing with that groin injury. So this is another game. Got to pay attention to the injuries. Um, but dude, this is so ugly, and I think you're gonna disagree. But I think I like the Lions plus 3.5 here.
Ooh, okay. Now you gotta explain yourself, big dog. Explain yourself.
The Lions at home have been just putting up points. And the Dolphins, Tua did not look good last week. He did not look good against the Steelers team. And although it was the Steelers, he did not look good. And it's just, it's hard for me, especially on the road where the Lions have been doing well at home. Um, they're just 3.5 points seems too much. Um, the games that the Lions have struggled in have been on the road. Against the Seattle
Right.
Seahawks, they put up 45 at home, but the Seattle Seahawks scored 48. Okay. The game where they got shut out against New England, they were on the road. The game where they were actually in a competitive game with the Dallas Cowboys, they were on the road. Against the Eagles, week one, they put up 35. They lost by 3. These two games where they put up a shit ton of points and lost, they covered that 3.5 point spread, and they're doing it at home against the Washington Commanders. They won 36-27 at home. And a big key is that I'm looking at was that Minnesota game. They traveled to Minnesota. They lost by 4, but it was a competitive game. They lost 24-28. There's a
Mm.
trend when this Lions team is at home, they put up points. It's just can they stop? And as rough as Tua looked, it was his first day or first game back last week. I get that, but he looked rough. Um, dude, these Lions are gonna put up points, especially if Xavier Howard isn't 100%. That's huge. You know, they got Amaron St. Brown coming back. It looks like Hawkinson's going to play. Josh Reynolds is iffy, but they have a lot of pieces. And if the Lions can go out there and score 30 damn points, you think the Dolphins are going to go score 34? I mean, that's just a shootout like hell. I don't know, dude. The Lions at home, I think I have to take it. Did I sell you?
Ah, I ain't gonna lie to you. You did sell some real estate right on my land. That's crazy. You did sell me some real estate because you're right. At home, they are they are dangerous at home, boy. And looking back at it now, granted, it was the first week for the Eagles. The Eagles defense to gel, but man, they did drop. What you said? What 30 something against the
Yes.
Eagles? 20 something?
They
Yeah.
dropped 35. They lost to the Eagles 38-35.
And you look at this Eagles team now, man. They are locked down. And granted, this I think it's the first time they've been fully healthy with a St. Brown, DeAndre Swift. And you said what Hawkinson didn't participate in
Hawkinson,
practice.
he didn't participate, but it looks like he might play.
Mm, but play exactly. But not even. But take put even Hawkinson aside. When was the last week Aramara St. Brown and Swift was both healthy in the same week? Because we know what they can do together.
That
You
week,
can't. If you worry about
yeah, where
one,
they were
you
put
get
up
sniped by
like
the
60
other.
points. I mean, their
Yeah.
weapons are coming back. Jared Goff at home is a solidable quarterback. He can put you in games to win. He can throw you out of them bitches as fast as he puts you in, but he can win those games. Um, and I think they put up points, dude. I seriously think they put up points. And if I know they were playing the Steelers, and they have a really good defense, and they have a really good head coach, but Motor City Dan Campbell, dude, MCDC. Something about when the Lions are at home, dude.
Mm.
He's got that team buzzing, and covering 3.5 point on the road. The Dolphins are on the road trying to lay 3.5. Man, give me the Lions.
Ooh boy, yes. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna put it like this. You did make it tough. You did make it tough.
Good. I'm glad I made it tough because that
You
shouldn't
do
be
got
an
some.
easy. That shouldn't be an
Yeah,
easy one.
yeah, and it wasn't easy. Like I said, I'm not touching this. This wouldn't be a lock for me at all. But if I had to lean, I ain't gonna lie to you, I would still take the Dolphins minus 3.5. Very,
You're
very,
sick.
carefully,
You're sick.
carefully, very, very carefully.
You're
I
sick.
mean,
You know what? I will say
yeah,
this.
maybe I am.
I will say this. If you like the Dolphins, this is a wait line. If we get updates that say Hawkinson, Mike Hughes, Josh Reynolds, Deshaun Elliott play, or you get three of those four, two of those four potentially,
Hmm.
um, the line may move to three because the lines are getting key pieces back for sure. On the other hand, you do have Xavier Howard who did not participate and Teron Armstead who did not participate. Xavier Howard usually plays. He's been dealing with this groin injury, so that's not going to have as much effect on that line. But you do have several key pieces on the line. So if you do like, I will say, if you do like the Dolphins here, wait. You could potentially get this at -3. I don't see this moving the other way, just because of the
Exactly. It'd
lopsided
be
of
kind of,
injuries. But this is definitely a if you like the Dolphins, wait. That's all I can say.
and the thing, and here's what I'm gonna say as far as this, right? I give credit to the Dolphins. The Dolphins defense is definitely something to be talking about. Talking about. I mean, they have been playing very, very well. I love Javon Holland out in the back end. I love Carl Lawson rushing the passer. Like the team is really built. I mean, Xavier Howard is a big deal. We're not going to overlook that. Even Xavier Howard is a big deal, but I just got a feeling that this game's going to be like a backyard football game. Like everybody's just throw, catch, going, touchdown. I mean, you got the fastest players out in the field in Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. To me, no matter what, that is a big threat. No matter what Tua's arm is, honestly. And on top of that, Mike Gesicki. Granted, I know his production hasn't been great, this year, but Mike Gesicki is always a threat down in the middle of the field. I just feel like the Lions are gonna have just too many problems. And granted, yes, this Lions team is dangerous with Ramara St. Brown and DeAndre Swift, but this is also DeAndre Swift's first game back.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure they're gonna be careful with him. I mean, they are 1-5. Let's be honest. This team is not gonna touch the playoff or even see the day of a playoffs. So I feel like they're gonna be a little more careful, especially if you might see some signs about what was wrong with him? Was it hamstring? Was it leg?
Um,
This is where
I'm not 100% sure.
I can't really remember. Yeah, not 100% sure. I'll double check on that. But no matter what, if you're coming off an injury, it's been a few weeks. It's been about 2 to 3 weeks of him finally getting back into it. I just don't. I love the idea. I love your idea and your blueprint of how they can win this game. I just don't believe that it's gonna really fall in their favor. I really feel like the uh the I actually feel like the Dolphins are gonna put up a lot of points. What
The
is the
over is
over?
51
Do you
points. I
know
was
what the
also
over
looking at
is?
that.
Over. I would take the
Yeah.
over on this.
It's that high. It's
I
that
would
high for a
honestly take the
reason.
over on this. I feel like it's gonna be a sloppy backyard football game. Right. The weather's not a factor because I believe Ford Field in
Yeah,
a
it's in
dome,
a dome, and that's
right?
probably why Jared Goff does
Yeah,
well there.
it's in a dome.
But yeah, I agree with you.
Exactly. No weather, no
I think
factors,
I think
nothing.
Tua starts to find his footing, but I think this is where the Lions, they get their shit together because they're coming off two road losses, and they're going back home with their players, with their playmakers. Um, I think they have a solid chance to put up points. They might not win, but I think they put up points. And DeAndre Swift was dealing with a ankle and shoulder injury. That's what was making him struggle these past or not
Right.
play these
So
past
that
couple
ankle,
weeks.
yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. So I'm more worried about that ankle. Can he push off and explode? Like I said,
yeah.
we'll
We're,
see.
we're I mean we're definitely
We'll
going to see.
definitely
This
see.
is obviously all speculation. We have not a damn clue. If we knew exactly what would be happening, we'd be Bezos. But we have the we
Yeah,
have the
facts.
oh
We'd be
god,
on.
this is a tough one. The Patriots are heading to the Jets. Jets are 2.5 point home dogs. The Bears obviously just beat the Patriots. They looked rough, 33-14, and the Broncos just lost to this Jets team, 16-9. We looked it up earlier. Mac Jones is set to start. The latest on the Patriots: David Andrews and Kyle Duggar did not participate in practice, and Corey Davis also did not participate. Obviously, Brees Hall is done. They did pick up James Robinson. How much do you think they integrate James Robinson
Huge.
into this offense this first week?
How they're going to integrate the offense in this week, that's up in the air. The biggest thing the biggest thing I will say is a factor is they did get him early in the week. They got him on I think Monday morning, Monday afternoon, got that trade in, and he's gonna be. I think he was able to practice he probably fly over Tuesday, probably practice today, probably practice
Yeah,
Thursday,
he's
Friday,
definitely
walk
gonna
through
have a lot of
Saturday.
he's definitely gonna have a lot of reps. It's just how comfortable is Salah going to be with putting him. But I mean, we saw it with obviously he's not McCaffrey, but you saw McCaffrey played and he got traded like a couple days before the game. He didn't get as much
Right. Well, I'll
run,
tell
but
you what,
yeah.
I'll tell you what, Sal's gonna be more comfortable than Doug Peterson was playing James Robinson. I'll tell you that. I mean, that man barely even got used after a while. It's like after week two, after two good solid weeks, they just absolutely just took the Sherlock away from him and went straight to Travis Etienne. I mean, for good reason, you know, that's his belief. But nah, I honestly believe the Jets kind of saved their season with this trade here. You know, I have all belief in Michael Carter. I feel like Michael Carter is a great back, but I just feel like James Robinson gives you a different type feel at running back, a little more of a power back a little bit. He can still get loose. Don't get me wrong. He can still break a run. We've seen it week one. And granted, the Jets' recipe is obviously run and defense, right? When it was Brees Hall out there, it was run and defense. They're not passing the I see. Look, listen. I can see why. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I can very definitely see why you was not high on the Jets at all. And those picks, honestly, you can say I got lucky. But yeah, Zach Wilson don't look nowhere near like a quarterback that's on a 5-win team. It's like I said, that defense has really, really carried them throughout. I mean, throughout this whole season, hit them and Brees Hall. So we're gonna see what this new formula, this new look Jets kind of looks like this week. This is what I'm really, really concerned about. Can that run game still be sustained this week against the Patriots? And honestly, the Bears ran all over the Patriots. Let's not forget. And the one different element I believe the Bears had an advantage over the Jets is their QB can run. I mean, their QB. I mean, granted, Wilson can run, but he doesn't run often. He's not really. They don't really run QB designed runs as of like really like that as they do with Justin Fields. So that's on the Patriots side. But we'll see. Like I said, I if anything, I'm leaning more towards Jets minus 2.5. I'm sorry, not Jets. Patriots.
See,
Patriots
you know
on
what?
minus 2.5
I
here.
think I like the Patriots this week too, and just a few reasons. Number one, they're coming off an ugly loss. Bill Belichick is still the head coach, and Bill Belichick usually schemes up pretty well against teams that don't have a great offense. Bill Belichick is a big preacher of limiting mistakes. Your special teams and defense wins the game. And, those basically the Patriots gave the Bears like 14 or 10 points, whatever it was, off the gate, off stupid mental errors and mistakes. He rips Mac Jones out, puts Bailey Zappi in. He goes out there, scores a touchdown, but then they go out and they still struggle. Um, I think Mac Jones, him getting his job back, basically, he's got a chip on his shoulder. Hey, you need to go out there and play your game, or there's potential that Bailey Zappi might be the player going forward. And obviously, that's the last thing he wants. It's his second year. Um, but I think this is going to be a Bill Belichick get right spot. They're on the road. It's less than 3 points. I mean, I also like the under in this game. I think Bill Belichick is really going to try to scheme up to slow down the Jets offense, and the Jets defense is going to try to do the same thing to Mac Jones. And as long as Mac Jones doesn't turn the ball over, I think we see like, feel a field goal fight. Um, so I do like the under in this game. I It's kind of a trend with me. If I see the Jets, if I see the Broncos, I like the under. Um, so I think I like the under stronger than a side this week. Um, but gosh, this is gonna be ugly, man. It's gonna be ugly because we already know what's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
happen,
gonna be
dude.
rough.
The Jets are just gonna find a way to win. They just, for some reason, they do. It's nasty. It's ugly. They just find a way. But you have to take this Patriots minus 2.5. It's a get right spot. Mac Jones is back. He's got a full week of practice. He's got a chip on his shoulder after a poor performance. You just have to take the Patriots. But I really also like the under in this game. I don't see the Patriots going out there and scoring a shit ton of points because the defense and special teams is what the strong suit of the Jets is. And I also don't see the Jets going out there and putting up 20 points either. So I think this is going to be like a Patriots like 20, Jets 14, 17 potentially. I think that's what we're looking at here. Maybe a little bit lower, like Patriots 17, Jets 10, Jets 14. That's what I'm looking at. I don't see really. I mean, besides explosive, miscues in the defense, I just don't see these teams consistently going down on each other and putting up points.
Hey Jared, let me ask you something. Let me ask you a very, very like a question, right? Have you ever been on the New
I
York
actually
subway?
have. Yes, it's nasty and it's
For
filthy,
real?
and I
Really?
don't want to go on there when I don't have to. So if you're asking, that's exactly what the Jets are.
Exactly my
Yes,
damn point. So guess what? We hopping off the
right.
subway this week. We hopping off the subway this week. You already know
Yeah,
it gets
hey,
wild,
boy,
it gets
hey,
crazy, it gets
and you know
nasty
what they
out
say:
there. All right, you don't want to
the
be on that
more
subway for
times
too
you go on the
long.
subway, the higher chances you got to catch something you don't want. So limit your time on the New York subway. So the Jets, we are
Exactly.
passing on you this. We'll let the public run all over that and get the shit that we don't want because there's no way in hell. Yeah, we got a one-way ticket, no
Right. Thanks
round
for the
trip.
money.
I will walk. I will walk back.
Thanks for the money, but we gotta go. We gotta go. Right. I will
Yeah, but that
walk.
game's gonna be ugly.
I will walk back.
Um, let's go to a good game. Let's go to a good game, a little homer game. My team, as Skip Bayless says. The Schittsburg
Oh
Steelers.
yeah.
The Schittsburg Steelers are heading
My
to
team.
Philadelphia. Vibes high. Phillies in the World Series. Eagles undefeated. Sixers playing like shit. The total is 43 points. Yeah, 1-4, dude.
Yep. We just lost
Unbelievable.
19.
Eagles coming off a bye. Dolphins just beat the Steelers team 16-10. Kenny Pickett didn't look bad. Brandon Graham did not participate. Lane Johnson is expected to play this week, and obviously TJ Watt is still out for the Steelers. So that is a huge pass rusher. This is a lot of points, I will say. This is a lot of points. Granted, the Eagles are at home, and
Whopping
I am
amount of
going to
points.
stay away from the full game in this one. I'm just going to make that very clear because number one, the Eagles are one of the worst teams in the second half. They don't score. They don't really play defense. They just they barely find ways to cover. It's just ugly. The the Steelers, on the other
Cruise
hand,
control. Y'all going on cruise control.
they're still trying to find their footing. Kenny Pickett is playing, decent, but he's not putting up points. He's doing solid things with his legs. But I will tell you, I'm going back to the well. You can get the Eagles -6. I see him at -5.5. I see him at -6, and I see him at -6.5. I don't care what it is. You can get the Eagles for less than a touchdown first half spread. I think I love that. They're at home. They're coming off a bye. I
That
really
that's
like
a
that
better
play. The
play.
Eagles
That is
win
a
the
way
first
better
half by a
play.
touchdown. The Eagles first half, I think, hey man, hey, I'm here to
You
make money,
sneaky,
not friends.
sneaky
I
motherfucker.
think the Eagles first half is 6-0 this year. I think they're 6-0 covering. So they're the good Atlanta Falcons against the spread. They actually win. They're on the winning side of the spread, not the losing side. But yeah, Eagles -6, 5.5, 6.5, whatever the hell you have available to you. First half, why not, right? Why not? They're coming off a bye. Everybody's healthy. Robert Quinn is going to be there. I'm not sure how much he plays, but he's out there too now. Where does this say that the Steelers keep it within a touchdown this first half? Now, the second half, it's free game. I don't know what goes on. I don't know if they go in the locker room and they make TikToks and they're out there partying and setting up their celebrations and their touchdown dances and shit. But it's like they take their foot off the gas, which makes me worried heading into the later part of the season because obviously you need to play through every game because as you closer to playoffs, teams are more competitive and they play the entirety of the game. Um, But yeah, I like the Eagles first half, but my gosh, I'm not touching anything from the full game. I'm not touching the total. I'm not touching the side. What are you looking at here, if anything?
Oh man, if anything, I mean, I'm not like I said as far as just the lines is going, the minus 10.5 or what minus 11 now, it's around that range. Just know this: if anything, I would take the Eagles here. I mean, honestly, with this Eagles defense, the way they're flying high right now, I mean, we just talked about it. Jesus God, all these fucking trades. Bradbury, right? You guys getting Bradbury. CJ Gardner Johnson, you guys got for a trade for the Saints, and then you turn around and you guys just got Robert Quinn. I mean, what else? What else does this team honestly need? They're riding high,
More,
6-0, 6-0 against right now a pitiful looking Steelers team to say the least. And I respect Mike Tomlin and love Mike Tomlin enough, but this team is pitiful as far as like talent wise. I mean, the roster construction, they can't really put up points. The defense plays well, but they can't put up points. But man, like I don't want you to really think about it. I mean, Howie Roseman put together a very, very, very beautiful team that stayed within the cap. And on top of that, have 6 picks in the draft next year, including 2 1s and 2 2s. That is disgusting. You didn't use none of those ones or none of those twos for any of those players that you grabbed, and they all have been impact players since day one. Didn't CJ Gardner Johnson have 2 interceptions one game? Yeah,
yeah,
like 2 weeks ago.
he had 2 interceptions against the Cowboys. One, I will have to give credit to James Bradbury. It was a pick drill. He tipped it up in the air to the back of our secondary.
I mean, he's a new addition too. You can add
Yeah,
him into it too. Just join him on in. Like yeah, like
I mean,
it's
dude,
ridiculous.
I
He has
think I
really
think
put together a good team.
I think James Bradbury and Darius Slate are like third and fifth for like yards given up, and they're right next to each other in the yards given up. Like they don't let up any yards. They're like in least yards per game when they're thrown to. They're like third and fifth in the league. That's insane.
Jesus God.
But and let's not forget
It's
that the we have the Saints pick this upcoming draft, and they're doing bad. So that could be a potentially top 10 pick, which is insane.
exactly my point.
We could win the Super Bowl and have a top 10 pick. I'm not knock on wood. Um,
Can
God,
y'all?
I can't believe we just said that, but God, Super Bowl and World Series the same year. I don't know, dude. I'd lose my mind. Um,
Well,
but
wish I could say finals.
yeah, Sixers need to figure it out. But see, this is the thing that scares me about the Eagles full minus 10.5. Number one, the hook is against you. Number two, the Steelers covered last week against the Dolphins, and the week before that, they beat the Bucks outright. So or I don't know if it was the week
You know how
before.
the Bucks look right now.
Yeah, I mean,
But yeah, I know what you're talking
not
about.
that.
The week before. Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously they got shit on by the Bills. Yeah, so they lost the Dolphins by 6, and they were 7-point underdogs, so they covered. They lost to the Buccaneers. I mean, they beat the Buccaneers outright, and they were 10-point underdogs. And then it got ugly against the Bills. Do I think the Eagles are on the Bills level offensively? No, I don't think so. I think the Bills potentially put up more points because Josh Allen has an absolute cannon and can throw 80 yards a pass, no questions asked. But do we have a consistent offense to run it down your throat, make plays, convert on first down, and work our way down to the end zone consistently? Absolutely. So that's why that full
Ding, ding,
spread
ding,
scares
ding,
me
ding.
because number one, Mike Tomlin as a huge underdog generally covers. Number two, the Eagles haven't been impressive in the second half. Maybe that changes after the bye. I don't know. I'm not ready to test that. But yeah, I think the only thing I like in this game is the Eagles first half minus 5.5, 6, 6.5, whatever the hell you get it at. So,
Yes, sir.
um, yeah. So let's move on to finally get into the 4 o'clock games. There were so many 1 o'clock games. My gosh. Here's a good one. The Giants are heading to Seattle. Seattle are 3-point home favorites. The total in this game
Great
is 40.
game.
Yeah, the total in this game is 44.5 points, which I test by the way these teams have been scoring seems a little low, although the Seahawks kind of took their foot off the gas the past couple games. But the Jaguars just got basically fourth quarter destroyed against the Giants, which the Giants
Giants.
have been seemed to be
That's what they do.
doing. The Seahawks just beat the Chargers. You know, I said they took their foot off the gas. Besides last week, they just beat the Chargers 37-20. Um, DK did not participate. Lockett was limited, but he is expected to play. There are some question marks on the Giants side. Bellinger, Galladay, Kadarius Toney all did not participate. Granted, they have been without Galladay and Kadarius Toney, but Bellinger has definitely been a solid
Huge.
target for Daniel
Daniel
Jones.
Jones, bro. Definitely.
Dude, I saw a
Most certainly.
stat. I saw a stat where I can't exactly remember who was in that stat, but Daniel Jones is going to be like one of like the first quarterbacks with like this passing rushing combo since like Michael Vick. Like something insane. Like he's on pace for like 800 rushing yards or something. I can't I don't know how true that is, but I'm pretty sure I saw that you know, whoever's
I
listening, you
mean,
might want
shoot,
to do a little fact check, but I'm just on the spot here. I'm pretty sure I saw Daniel Jones is on pace for like 800 rushing yards, which is insane.
shoot. From the way he was running, the way he was running last week, shoot, he might as well be on the way pace for 1,000. I mean, goddamn. I mean, they did like so many design runs. Brian Dable, you know what? I can't say enough about what Brian Dable has done. He really legit took the blueprint of Josh Allen. And even though that Daniel Jones isn't Josh Allen, he is utilizing as if he is Josh Allen. You know, and the big throws all the way downfield, maybe that doesn't come here, and there. He really puts Daniel Jones in positions to really protect the ball and just makes the nice calculated throws. But as far as the design runs, man, those read options, there he was killing the Jacksonville Jaguars with those read options, man. It got to the point where I'm like, oh my God, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Like run, Daniel, run. Like that's all I was saying all game. Run, Daniel, run. Like he they just have a good feel going out in New York, you know? And but as far as this game though, as far as this game goes, man, I mean, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna take a step back. What do you think? I'm gonna let you answer first. What do you think about this game? Like honestly, like I said, I
Um
like the Giant. I like the Giants the way they feel, but what do you think of this game?
See, this is a difficult one.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see who ends up playing before I take a pick a side because there's a lot of key pieces here. Bellinger doesn't sound like a key piece, but he is. DK probably
Is
doesn't play. Lockett limited, but I expect him to play. So there are some question marks that I really want to make sure of. The Seahawks are at home. That is a tough environment to play in, especially because the
12th
Seahawks.
man.
That's what I'm saying. Especially because the Seahawks are coming off a big win against Los Angeles. Um, Granted, the Chargers. Oh my God, don't even get me started on them. But
Nah,
this,
that's stale Staley.
yeah, literally, dude. But like you said, dude, the Giants are playing well. Granted, they're not starting games off hot, but they're closing out very strong. They're making great second half adjustments. You saw it against Trevor Lawrence. They got shut out in the fourth quarter and they ended up losing that game and didn't even cover the spread, which is insane. Um, but yeah, it's hard it's hard to bet against the Giants right now. It's really hard to bet against them. I keep thinking they're due for like this crazy loss. I keep saying they're frauds, but like time and time again, they keep proving me wrong. And you know, this is another spot where, truthfully, I'd probably take the Seahawks, but just because I'm tired of getting burned by the Giants, I'm tired of saying Dan Jones is a dog. I'm probably just gonna stay away. Like it's hard. Total wise, I think you could see a little bit of the over. 44 and a half. Could we see one of these teams putting up 30 points? Absolutely. I could definitely see one of these teams put up 30 points. But, the Seahawks did have that game against the Cardinals where it was a snooze fest. So it's like, I don't know. They're at home, a little bit of inconsistent from you don't really know what to expect from the first half from the Giants, and you don't know what Geno Smith offense you're coming with this week. So it's probably more so going to be a stay away game for me. But if I had to take a lean, I think I just have to go with the Seahawks, and it's disgusting, but I gotta just take the. I think in this matchup, two teams playing fantastic. I just go with the home team.
Okay, I like your little, your little poem you just laid out there about the
But there is no like I'm putting
yeah,
money on this
yeah.
because I'm not, and I'm giving a lean because I feel
Mhm.
obligated to, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
what we do on
Yes, sir.
Thursday. I give a lean, but keeping my money in my damn pocket. There's no way I'm betting against Daniel Jones or on Daniel Jones. I'm just it is
Life
what it
goes
is.
on. Yo,
Yeah.
what's funny about this is, like I told you, bro, you know what that subway like? I don't like it. I don't like staying on that train for too long. I had to
Right.
hop
You
off.
stay on
I
too
got my
long, you
money.
catch shit.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. So I'm gonna hop off again of this bandwagon of the subway. What's funny is I definitely had a tough time with this. I mean, you're talking about my two teams that was been part of my locks for the past couple of weeks, man. That have been really doing their thing, and especially with the, the underdog ticket. I mean, ching. I mean, come on now, but I like the Seahawks -3, and I'm gonna tell you why. I talk about the Seahawks all the time. What's the main thing I always talk about? Their slew of running backs, right?
Mhm.
They always seem to have the running back there to run that system. I mean, just absolutely fluently without hiccups, man. K9 last week showed me what he could really do. K9 legit at the end of the game. I mean, what was it? The fourth quarter, and he essentially ended the game with a home run, run that like what 70, 60 yards, 70 yards. I think it was like the first play of that drive, and he just
Yeah, and that
took
old
off.
lady was giving him the
Yeah,
birds.
yeah, exactly, and he basically shut the door right there. The thing of what I will say about this is the one thing I love about the Seahawks here is their offense is more balanced. I can count on Geno Smith a little more than Daniel Jones. Maybe not as far as running, but when I need you to go ahead and throw that ball down for a little bit, hit the right target, and Tyler Lockett is right there, Mr. Reliable. It's what I'm saying. Like, think about it. They had the better receiver, they had the better quarterback. They don't have the better running back, but they had the more balanced game on that offensive side, right? And as far as defense, don't get it twisted. I mean, granted, the Giants receivers are no good any goddamn way, but they got some two young corners out there right now hooping too. I don't know if you've been keep taking notice, but I was like, does it Tariq Woolen and DJ Reed along with Kobe Bryant? Them boys are dogs out there, man. The new corners are actually pretty decent, man. And honestly, I don't know if you noticed, but Cindy Jones is out in the market for that main reason. And Cindy Jones ain't no slouch either. As an Eagles fan, Cindy Jones ain't no slouch. You know,
Yeah, no, he's solid.
so yeah, very solid. So they just like the Seahawks just give me a feeling of, hey, at the end of the day, it's a tough game. At least I can know I can rely on their balance on offense, and I can still I can kind of get away as far as the corners. I mean, as far as the defense's perspective, especially with the Giants not putting up anything until the fourth quarter. That's been their problem of the day. So, I mean, that differential in the fourth quarter is ridiculous. Did you see those stats last game? I mean, it was like the first quarter was like -20, -13. Second quarter was like -7. The third quarter was +8, and the fourth quarter was +26. That
And
was
that's
like that.
And that's what I'm saying, dude. You
That's
don't know what Giants team is going to show up in the first half, but you also, on the flip side, like it's not easy to say, oh, give me the Seahawks first half money line, because
right.
it's you can't do that because you don't know which Geno Smith, you don't know when and if he shows up as well. So
Hmm.
that Seahawks team, like you
Right.
said, dude, it really starts with their running game. If they can run the ball, they usually have a really good game. If they don't run the ball, that's kind of when Geno Smith
Yeah.
keeps the
Yeah.
ball in his hands too
Misty
much and he commits turnovers stuff. But that's definitely going to be a good game,
gets a
dude.
little foggy out there.
I'm glad this is a 4 o'clock game because I'm definitely going to want to watch that. You're like full on. Eagles are at 1, so I'll be finished up watching that. Granted, I do have like every single game on because I'm just addicted to football. But
Yes, indeed.
4 o'clock game, dude. Giants Seahawks. That's gonna be a good one. It's like you said, dude. It's hard to take a side, but if I had to, I'd probably take the home team and just close your eyes. Um, here's here
And make a wish.
here's a here's a good game. Um, the 49ers heading to the Rams. The Rams are 1.5 point dogs. The total for this game is 43. The Rams are just coming off of a bye. The 49ers just lost to the Chiefs 44-23. Um, Debo Samuel, Armstead, and Debo Samuel and Armstead did not participate. They said Debo Samuel is making progress, but he still was a DNP. Armstead was a DNP, but there was some hope that he can make his return this week, which would be huge. Jason Verrett was limited.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah, Jason Verrett was limited, but I believe he is on pace to play. And obviously, Juszczyk just had his finger surgery or surgery on his broken finger, so he is not available for this game.
Quietly a big deal.
Very, very
Quietly.
quietly a big
That's
deal
quietly a
because
big deal.
they're one of the few teams that still efficiently run a fullback, and he is quite literally a big part of their offense.
Swiss
But
Army, man. He can do it all.
yeah, dude, how do we not take the 49ers here?
Exactly right. And what's the line? -2. Then that is eye popping. And they just added Christian McCaffrey on top of that.
Yeah, dude.
Like like that's Jimmy G's dream. Like Jimmy G is living his exact dream. I got a playmaker on the outside who can turn my slants into to 80-yard touchdowns, and I got a back who I could put in receiver out in the slot, or I could just dump it off to him. He can get me 20 every play. Like it's legit Jimmy's dream, Jimmy G's dream, honestly. And -2.
Well, it's
Come on
shit. It's
now.
-1.5 right now.
Oh, minus one and a
It just,
half. You're only making it better for
dude.
me.
It's just
Like
if
that's
Debo
insane.
Samuel plays and Armstead is on pace to return, there's no way in hell the Rams win this game. And if they win this game, it's because Jimmy Garoppolo threw 3 interceptions and Christian McCaffrey got hurt. I mean, I just don't see it.
And Cooper Cup got
That's what
3.
I'm saying. Like, it. I mean, Cooper Cup has to catch 200 yards or has to have 200 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns to win this game. Allen Robinson finally got onto the stat sheet last week, but who cares? It's just, dude, it's just this Rams team is ugly. Cam Akers isn't playing. He wants out of LA. Darrell Henderson, a little banged up. I think he was limited at practice. It's just there's too many moving pieces and drama on that Rams team for me to take the Rams. They don't look good. The only game they look good was against the Panthers. Who cares? The Buccaneers, I know they played like shit against the Panthers, but the Buccaneers are a different story for another day. I'm tired of talking about them. But the Niners, I don't care if they're on the road. I don't care if they're at home. You know, Kyle Shanahan has Sean McVay's number right now. He always outcoaches him. There's no questions about it. 1.5 points is wrong. They're wrong. The bookmakers are wrong. There's
Wrong
this
for that. Super
this
wrong.
Rams team just they're not the same. The offensive line, they have like one starter from last year, Super Bowl team. They're a mess. They're atrocious. They're struggling to run the ball. Matthew Stafford is throwing a pick like every single game. Granted, going back to the well once again, for all of our loyal listeners, Matthew Stafford over half an
Only over.
interception. I mean, just take it. It's free money against the 49ers, especially when they're getting pressure and he tries to force these passes downfield. It's free money. Just take Matthew Stafford over half an interception. I think last time I looked, it was -104. It's basically doubling your money. Why not take it? You've placed worse bets. But yeah, like I don't even know what else to say. The Niners team is better. They might be one of the most talented rosters in the league, top to bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. I full-heartedly agree. Wholeheartedly agree.
And other than that, dude, I'm staying away from this Rams team for a very long time. The only bet on the Rams is literally Matthew Stafford over half an interception for the rest of the year. I'm gonna ride it until it doesn't hit. But yeah, dude, give me the Niners -1.5. That's
Well, I mean,
God, it doesn't make sense.
I mean they do Hey, well, to put it on your side, at least they play the Broncos the day after the day of Christmas.
And I'm still not taking them,
That's a
dude.
bet I
I'm
might put
still not
on.
taking them. I'm just going to take, and I'm taking the under in that damn game. I don't care if it's
I
one
already knew you
point.
were
I
for
don't
that.
care if it's 50 points. I'm taking the damn under. Those teams are atrocious. Um, but yeah, yeah. Give
Disgusting.
us both the 49ers. I'm pretty sure that's going to be our lock on Saturday, as long as no ridiculous stuff happens. Okay. I'm gonna let you take the floor on this one. I'll go real quick and I'll let you go through. The Commanders are heading to Indianapolis. The Colts are 3 point. The
Oh
Colts are
yeah.
3 point home dogs. Ugly 39.5 point total for this game. The Commanders just coming off a big win versus the Packers. Taylor Heineke led the Commanders 23-21. The Colts just lost to the Titans 19-10. Shaq Leonard was a full participant at practice. Sam Ellinger is set to start. Frank Reich also stated that he should and is supposed to be the starter for remainder of the season. Kwity Paye was a DNP. William Jackson, Chase or Cole Holcomb, and Jahan Dotson were DNPs. What are we doing in this game, man?
Hold on. And the Colts are favorite,
Yes,
right?
Colts
By
minus
3.
3 at home.
They favored it by 3. Okay. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. All right. Yeah. You already know how I feel about this game, baby. I mean, let's put it like this, right? The Colts have has the Colts had Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan is fourth in passing yards in NFL right now, and they just benched him. Why? Just seems to turn the ball over. The offense can't seem to get going. But granted, let me ask you this. Matt Ryan. Now I understand that he's older, and for him to really get pass protection, he has to kind of sit and shotgun a little bit more than you would under center. But man, why is he throwing the ball 44 times in back-to-back weeks? Now, I'm not even going to put an indictment on Frank Reich. I heard a lot of good things about Frank Reich. I don't really downplay his intelligence, man, but 44 times in back-to-back weeks, and you have Jonathan Taylor down there. Jonathan Taylor had 10 rushes last week.
That's
Like
bad.
what's the game plan there? Yeah, yeah. What's the game plan there? That is ridiculous, man. That is who your offense runs off of. Now, granted, I think with Sam Ellinger, he's definitely going to lean on he's definitely going to lean on
This is an excuse to run the ball. Yeah, this is
JT a little
definitely an
bit more.
excuse to run the ball more.
Right, yeah, yeah. This is legit the perfect excuse to run the ball, and that's going to be the one way they win this game. And granted, the Commanders have been playing really well in the run, especially against AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones at one point last week. So you telling me you're giving and this is also coming from a fan too, but and from an analyst perspective, you're giving the Commanders 3 points against a team whose playbook was completely backwards, didn't run the offense with their best player, and they had the quarterback throw 44 times and a loss where they only put up 10 points against the
Yeah,
Titans.
that's bad.
Give me a break. Give me a break. That is ugly. That is an ugly situation right now going on in Indy, man. And it really puts in perspective the whole Carson Wentz situation. Well, actually, no, it really doesn't because Carson Wentz is still going through the same shit as it is.
He's a product of his
Um,
own mess, dude. I can't even
but
feel bad for him anymore.
yeah, it's probably won't mess. Right. And it's like, man, Indy. I know. Shout out, man, to the fans out for the Indianapolis Colts, man. I feel so bad for you guys. Once Andrew Luck retired, it's been a search. It's been a search every single year, and you guys get these quarterbacks, the veterans that you hope to really turn this team around and really rally around and go to 10-win seasons. The only quarterback that did that since Andrew Luck was Philip Rivers at 10-6, and he only played for
Yeah,
1 year and he was
he
done.
knew it was time to get the hell out of there.
You know, yeah, yeah, he did. He knew, man. And it's so sad that I really thought Matt Ryan was gonna do tremendous things, man. But it's really sad to see how that situation played out. Um, but enough about them. You know what I'm saying? The Commanders are coming back hot. Heineke looking real good. What I tell y'all? Did I tell y'all last week,
We
man?
said,
It's about
yeah,
being a
we
football
both
player
said.
sometimes. Yes, we did. We both said, and we made money off it. They brought me my money. Trust me, Vegas brought me my money this week. They brought me my money this week. So keep riding it hot. I mean, Heineke, like I said, there's a feel good right now with Heineke. The vibe you feel from Heineke playing right now is really high. We just beat Aaron Rodgers. Granted, Aaron Rodgers doesn't look the same right now. That offense looks kind of poopy poop, and Matt LaFleur looks like trash. But you still beat Aaron Rodgers, and at the end of the day, you put up 23 points. And man, Terry McLaurin finally got the ball.
That's what I
He
said when I saw the
finally
shit.
got the ball, man. Went to him on clutch plays every time. Third down. Guess he was catching the ball? Terry McLaurin on who? Jair Alexander. I'm telling you, McLaurin can win those one-on-ones. You just have to give him the ball. And when you don't think about being a quarterback and you just go out there and you play football, that's what happens. That's honestly what happens, and you can feel it. As a Commanders fans could feel it. We can honestly feel that, man. And the defense is playing so much better. The defense held the Packers to 0 for 14 on third
That's
down.
insane.
That is tremendous. And you're telling me I can go in here against Indianapolis Colts team that put up 10 points against the Tennessee Titans. I mean, granted, we put up 21 at least. We ended up at least put up 21. 10 points against the Tennessee Titans. Can't see, they hasn't found the running game yet with JT. Hasn't ran the offense against their best player. And you're telling me I got a backup quarterback. I'm going against a backup quarterback with a iffy, with a sometimey pass protection. Granted, that O line. I mean, that O line has been together. I don't know what's going on with that O line. That O line was probably one of the best O lines when Andrew Luck was playing quarterback. But now they just slowly deteriorated, at least on the pass protection, man. So you best believe I'm taking the Commanders +3. At least that's where I'm leaning at. Like I said, I'll let you know if it'll be a lock next week. I'm not lock. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be one of my locks. But nah, just keep
Yeah,
that in mind.
I
Commanders +3, man.
wholeheartedly agree with
Take it.
you. I love the Commanders in this spot. The Colts -3 is disgusting. You figure the Colts are basically +3 against the Titans. So you're telling me the Commanders or the Titans are 6 points better than the Titans? Absolutely not. You said it best, dude. Taylor Heineke is playing free. Even when they went down 14-0 or 10-0, whatever they did against the Packers, he still was out there. He was not afraid to throw the ball. He made plays. He was, getting outside the pocket, finding his receiver. Terry McLaurin came back to life. I mean, it's just they did a lot of good stuff. The defense held it down, and you have a rookie quarterback going in there for the Colts. Basically, it's just he's not prepared. He's going to be thrown into the fire. He's going against a solid defense. Um, and they're going to rely on Jonathan Taylor. So could this be one of those games where Jonathan Taylor explodes for 200 yards? It could be, but when you have a guy who's throwing the ball most of the time, so you're not really expecting the run, and he's struggling to run the ball. So his volume has been down, his yards per carry has been down. The offensive line is missing their blocks and their assignments, and defenses are coming through the gaps. The Derrick Henry did whatever he wanted. He ran the ball like 35 or 32 times last week. Put the game on ice, carrying Colts defenders on top of him for first downs. It's just the Colts are not a good team right now, and you'd be crazy to not take the points, regardless of if they're on the road or not. Take the points. I also think early they're a great teaser piece. You can get the Commanders +9. You think the Colts beat the Commanders by a touchdown? Unless Sam Ellinger goes out there and has the game of his life, and Jonathan Taylor is just getting first down after first down, which I don't see happening. I really like the Commanders in the spot, so I 100% agree with you. I really like the Commanders.
Take the
Gosh,
money.
we've been agreeing a lot this week, and I don't know if that's good or bad because I've been cold and you've been hot. So we're either going to be really good, really bad, or
It's a
we
good
are
sign.
going to hammer our picks this week. Um, but let's go ahead and close it out. Just real quick, we have the Sunday night football game. We are not covering Monday. That will be on the Monday edition of the podcast. So once again, these are just leans. We will make our official picks Saturday. We will also go over and give our two-team underdog parlay, potentially three if we see fit. And yes, we
If we
love
see
our
the
underdogs. We
opportunity,
nailed it last week. Commanders and Seahawks. What a great parlay. That was awesome. Um, so we would do one of those every week from now, and we'll try to give our 2 to 3 favorite dogs. And then we're going to continue to cook up a teaser. Teaser last week was rough.
Who?
We'll blame the Falcons on that one. The Colts also didn't cover by half a point. But hey, we're not
Jesus
going to talk
God.
about that. New week, new us. But let's go ahead and close it out. This is a good one. This is an ugly one. But one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league. At home, Packers on the road, 11-point dogs. Bills at home, -11 versus Aaron Rodgers. The total for this game is 47.5 points. The Bills are coming off a bye, so they're fresh. And the Commanders, as we just said, beat the Packers 23-21. I'll tell you what, I don't care how many points you give the Packers. I'm taking the other side until they figure it out. I don't care if it's 11. I don't care if it's 21. I don't care if it's 24. Give me the Bills. What do you think about this one?
I mean, you already know I'm going with the Bills, man. Come on, I just watched my Commanders just watch my Commanders beat this Aaron Rodgers team right now, and the outsides they don't have enough firepower. The outsides are just they're not it. It's not it. They don't give Aaron Rodgers really an opportunity. Granted, Aaron Rodgers has made some mistakes throughout that game as well, and I'm still waiting for him to put a little bit more accountability on the results of this season so far. But at the end of the day, yeah, he don't got him any outsides. He don't have nobody outside. He misses Devontae Adams.
Severely.
Like
Severely.
it's really really rough to see how much Devontae Adams meant to that to that offense, and not only the offense, the coaching staff, the quarterback. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, Matt LaFleur looks Matt LaDumb right now. He looks Matt bad. He looks biggie bad right now. And until he can figure it out, because he still has weapons. He still has Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. If he can't figure it out, man, then we might have to start having conversations about Matt LaFleur, as what Stephen A. like to call him, because this is, I mean,
It's not
it's
the
not
offense
pretty.
isn't pretty.
This
The
is
defense
this is
isn't
a
pretty.
disaster.
Special teams isn't pretty. The play call isn't pretty. And you had Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you're familiar with the Pat McAfee show, but Aaron Rodgers goes on there every Tuesday. So they interview him every
Oh
Tuesday.
yeah,
He goes on and speaks about, like,
yeah.
obviously the previous week, and then in off season they talk about other shit. But on the latest episode on Tuesday, uh, he went on there and he basically said a lot of people are messing up. And this is very brief of what he said. He said a lot of people are messing up. The people who are messing up need less play time, and we need to give other guys opportunities. Who is he talking about? Obviously, the offensive line.
Okay,
He was
so
throwing so much shade at his offensive line. He is pointing the finger at his offensive line. It seems to be a little bit turmoil in his sentence structure between him and Matt LaFleur. It looks like he really wants to get Aaron Jones involved, but it's like you saw the first couple drives against you guys. They went down there. They were doing these quick passes, screen passes, off tackle. They were getting Aaron Jones involved, and they were moving the ball. And they went away from that. Either the
mhm.
Commanders adjusted and shut down that, but even so, it looked like they were still continuing to go away with it. AJ Dillon didn't get as much run as he usually does. Um, they were forcing Aaron Rodgers to throw the ball, and like you said, they don't really have any consistent firepower. Like Lazard is a solid wide receiver, Romeo Doubs is a rookie, Robert Tonyan is running through the middle, but they're not consistent. They're not Devontae Adams. They're not just throw it at him and let him make a play. But the Bills coming off a bye at home, 11 points. I mean, I have the Bills by at least 2 touchdowns. There's just they're gonna turn they're gonna make
Exactly.
the Packers turn the ball over. You're not running on that defensive line. You're just not running on their defensive line, and that's what they want to do. And I'll tell you what, the corners are stepping up big time for the Bills. The safeties are playing amazing.
Oh yeah.
Linebackers are flying around making plays. That game versus the Chiefs was probably one of the worst defensive plays or defensive games they've had, but they still picked him off twice, and they picked him off on the game-winning drive. They beat the Chiefs while they were in Kansas City. That says enough right there. This Packers
Shout out
team
Leslie
is
Frazier.
absolutely nowhere near. this Chiefs team. This can get ugly. I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I love the Bills minus 11, but I for sure will be sprinkling Bills minus like 20, Bills minus 20 and a half for like big money, because there's no way in hell I think this game is competitive. I think
Wow.
this is Aaron Rodgers gets benched in third quarter because it gets so out of hand. I think the Bills go down there and just obliterate the Packers. They're at home off of a bye, dude. What else could you ask for? Like seriously, this is one of the best spots for the Bills to play against what should be a competitive team in the NFL. This is one of the best spots they will get. They're going to demolish the Packers. They're coming off of not playing last week. So they have to make up for these reps. They have to make up for these live reps going into next week. They're going to shit on the Packers this week. No ifs, ands, or buts. This is one of my favorite plays so far this week that I've seen.
Yes, sir. Take it. Take it and run with it, man. Like you said, them Bills is hot. Them Bills can drop 50 on anybody. They didn't drop 50 on Pittsburgh.
And
They
that's what
could
I'm
have dropped
saying.
50 on Pittsburgh if they really wanted to. So,
I have
no,
a
I agree
feeling
with you.
this game is going to get ugly. I'm not going to be surprised if the Bills put up 49 points. I'm not going to be surprised. With that being said, the Packers are still the Packers. So, could they cover this game? Absolutely. Are they going to cover this game? Hell no, they're not. Hell no.
Probably not.
They just lost to the
Hell
Jets.
to the no.
And no shade on the Washington
To the
Commanders,
no,
but they just lost to
no.
the Commanders. I'll tell you what. The Bills are
None taken.
the Bills could swallow up the Jets, Commanders, Giants in one gulp, okay? They're no joke. So, give me the Bills minus 11. If nothing crazy changes, I love them for Saturday. I also love them as a teaser piece. You can tell me you can get the Bills minus 5. Give me a fucking break. But yeah, I think that does it for us, man. Episode 8.
Yeah, man. Number 8, man. That's man. Look, already.
I know,
man,
dude.
it
It's
feels like we
I
just started.
definitely have been
You know?
enjoying this. I haven't gotten sick of it yet. So yeah. Numbers still
Right,
climbing.
of course.
We're doing great. We have new listeners we have new listeners every single
Moving
day.
on up.
Shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I have been getting some feedback on Twitter. We did go ahead and adjust the mic settings from last time. I did notice there was a little hypersensitive. So, just a little trial and error. I figured I'd do it on the short episode by myself so we can see how we do it for the future. But other than that, man, that's a lot of games down. There was only one bye week this week, so a longer episode. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yes,
yeah.
indeed.
So we will be back
Gotta
for
be sweating over
Saturday.
here.
There are a lot of games, so we try to make the Saturdays as brief as possible. We try to just touch up on games that we're going to have action on. But like I said earlier, we're going to have a teaser, 3-team teaser. That will be the regular going forward, and then we will also give our round robin of underdogs. We'll try to do 3. If not, then we will give our 2 favorite underdogs, and hopefully we stay. Dynel stays hot from last week. Hopefully we hit another 2-team underdog parlay, because those actually can bring you
Yes,
some
sir.
really solid cash. But I think it's going to do it for us. We will see you guys on Saturday. This has been episode 8, preview Thursday. If you enjoyed this episode, be a friend, tell a friend. If you didn't, most likely this never happened. Thank you so much for listening. Me and Dynel will be back Saturday for Picks Saturday. Make sure you guys tune in.
Saturday, y'all. Lock in. Time to
We'll
lock
see
in.
y'all in a couple days.
Peace.